Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy, Anime Mac Reviews, and I'm back with another spoiler review for you guys. This is Black Clover chapter. I believe this is 303. I believe it is 303. It's hard to believe that Yuki Tabata just been running through chapters like this. Like, oh my gosh, like, man, the art is pretty incredible in this chapter. So, first of all, this chapter really starts off with a flashback, and we really get to see in great detail pretty much the relationship between Nozel had with his mother following the death, not necessarily like the death of Acier, because Acier didn't exactly die in this moment that you see right here in the panel. She was cursed. And of course, we know that at the beginning of this fight, she was fighting against Vonica, and she eventually won that fight, but it came at a cost. She was, of course, cursed by Megicula, and because of that, she was basically bedridden for the majority of the time until she died. It's a pretty sad moment, and we can kind of see why Nozel really reacted the way that he did towards Noelle for such a long time, because for Nozel, he was pretty much like a teenager when this happened and was pretty traumatized by it. Like, you can see actually Magicula's curse right here, and we can see what it actually had did to Ace. So really just has stricken her with this curse that had left her just bedridden, as I said before. And think about this, guys. This is a captain that was on Wizard King level. Like, she was known to at least be on par with Julius at the time, and this pretty much had just left her severely weak, and she certainly got nerfed to the ground. And we see that for Nozel at this young age, he most likely, I'm going to go on a limb and say that Nozel was most likely a mama's boy. I believe also that he is the oldest in the family out of the Sylvia family in terms of like the siblings that Acer had. Not that Acer had, guys, I'm sorry. Out of all the children that Acer had, pretty much Nozel, he seems to be the oldest. I don't think that the other siblings are actually older than him at all. And obviously, with him being the firstborn of Acer, he's going to be a mama's boy. He's going to be especially attached to Acer. And the one thing that I'm just wondering here, guys, where is the father? Like, where is Noelle and Nozel's father? Like, where's her husband? You would think that with her being on her deathbed, that Ace, her husband, would be there. I hope that eventually Yuki Tabata does reveal who Noelle's father is. I hope that he's actually pretty powerful. Maybe he's one of those fathers that, I don't know, like was on a journey or something like that. But it is in actually this panel and this flashback that we see that Nozel pretty much has like these inner thoughts. And most likely, as we've read before, his whole coldness towards Noelle was actually just to protect her, because obviously he didn't want the same thing to happen to Noelle that happened to his mother, because he was super attached to Acer to begin with. Obviously, he is a mama's boy, as I've said before, so he wants to protect Noelle. Noelle is his baby sister, and on top of that, Noelle was actually involved in this dramatic, or rather I want to say traumatic event, because we see that Noelle as a child, she was right there in the heat of the action, almost essentially dying. And it's actually in this panel where the fight pretty much begins. And I really want to say this, like, Nozel, he's probably been preparing for this his entire life. Like, he's most likely been studying Megicula, studying some type of curse magic, because he appears to be putting Megicula on her heels. Now, the one complaint that I do have about this chapter, and I'm just going to come on and say it, guys, because I have to just, this is really just in the back of my mind. I was on Twitter, and some people have said this is actually the manifestation of Megicula, and this is not the true form of Megicula, which is the reason why it seems to be that Nozel and Noelle, working in tandem, are pretty much putting up a very good fight against her. And we see that her heart is exposed, but the one thing that I have trouble with believing some of the people on Twitter is that, at least to my knowledge, that this is the manifestation of Megicula. Why is her heart exposed? It seemed to be, rather, if this was the manifestation, the heart wouldn't even be there in the first place. And so in the back of my mind, although I love this sibling teamwork that they are really just giving Megicula the business, at the same time, the fan in me has to wonder, is this the end of Megicula? Like, is this truly the end? Is slashing the heart truly going to work? Or is it a different case for Supreme Devils of very high rank, that maybe slashing the heart doesn't exactly work? And so that's the one thing that I do just want to say, like, the art is truly amazing this chapter. I mean, just look at what Yuki Tabata has done. It is truly magnificent. I think that this is one of the best drawn chapters in such like a long time. We can tell that Yuki Tabata, he really needed that 2-week break so he can really get into the nitty gritty and details of this chapter. But at the same time, I just really want to know, is this truly the end of Megicula? Because a large amount of the Dark Triad and, of course, this new arc has been built upon Megicula. But to kind of leave that point off to the side for a little bit, I really want to talk about this panel because it is so touching. I think this is one of the most emotional moments that we've seen in the Black Clover series. We have Acer, or rather the spirit of Acer, holding Noelle and Nozel, and it's just truly touching. We have Noelle, who's never met her mother. That's all she's heard about is these legends. And we have Nozel, who obviously he misses his mother. This is a loved one that he cherished, and she's gone, and he has the chance to see her again. So it's truly amazing. But to go back on my original point that I'm making, we see that these characters that are really just built up for a very long time in this arc, I just hope that Megicula isn't just killed off. I did want to see more from Dante, I will have to admit. And obviously we didn't really care about Lilith and Nala because they weren't exactly characters that have been in the series for a long time, so I didn't really care. Dante, I kind of wanted that more fleshed out. Even the Dark Triad, I don't know. I'm not necessarily criticizing Yukitsubara to a very high extent, but at the same time, I do want to see these villains truly fleshed out. I don't want to see Megicula just die right away. So hopefully the Twitter user was right about this being the manifestation of Megicula and actually not the real one. Because if it is the real one and she has died, I'm definitely going to have to be honest here and say it's truly a disappointing factor to see her die just so early within literally 5 chapters, because that would be truly, a hit for the Black Clover series as far as this arc is concerned, because we really want to see these villains fleshed out. We love a story, so hopefully Yukitsubara, he throws in one of those surprises at the end of the next chapter, and so we'll see more of Megicula. But anyway, that does it for me today, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Also, comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought about this video. I know it may be a little bit controversial, but hey, I have to be honest here. And as always, make sure you guys have a wonderful week, and peace.